Okay, so the question about an example like this is what kind of steps do we have to take to rationalize a complex number like this? Well, the problem is that we have remember, you can't have a radical in the denominator of a fraction. 1 over the square root of 2 is not allowed. So to get rid of the square root on the bottom, we need to multiply by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. It's multiplying by 1, and it simplifies to be the square root of 2 over 2. Now, where did I get that from? Well, that's just an example of how you get rid of a radical. What we don't see here is there's a radical there involved in I, because remember, I equals the square root of a negative 1. So, according to the steps that we're going to need to take, we need to first of all the plan is to get rid of the I in the denominator. And as we've seen here in 6, 7, 8, and multiplying by conjugates, we can get rid of an I if we find the conjugate and multiply the denominator. So I'm going to say the steps here: multiply the top and the bottom of the fraction by the conjugate of the denominator. Now it says steps. I kind of said a lot there, and that's kind of one step. When you do that, you need to then simplify, or reduce. I guess that's the only other step. But you're multiplying the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate of the denominator is 6 minus 2i, which is what we've kind of been setting up for here. But I'm doing it to the top and to the bottom, because the value of this over itself is equal to 1. We're not changing the value of the fraction, we're just changing the denominator by getting rid of the radical. So if we go through this process here, 6 times 6 is well, I'll do it down here, 36. If I FOIL it, and eventually you're going to be able to do some shortcuts, and I'll let you come up with those. This is minus 12i, and then the inner is plus 12i. Remember, those will cancel because they're conjugates. The last then is a minus 4i squared, which in reality is a plus 4, because the I squared is a negative 1. So 36 plus 4, that's equal to 40. My numerator times 1 is just 6 minus 2i. Now, I saw some of you guys reduce fractions in a very creative way. Creativity is fine, but you were getting problems wrong because of your lack of consistency. The only way you can reduce this is if something goes evenly into 1, 2, 3, all three terms. Okay? Each of those three terms is even, so we can go 2 into everything. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into that once with the I there. 2 goes into that 20 times. That is your simplified form, but I'll give you one other look. 3 over 20 minus 1 over 20i is another way of writing that. That way you can identify the A and the B separate from the I. There you go.